I'm Joe Lazoo. Welcome back to KCZIN. Go to the website and become a supporter of KCZIN.com, and let's keep the message of pro-independence alive. So here we are talking about one of the greatest conversations we've had in perhaps decades for our people. When I say our people that want to have our own independent nation. So here's the good news. The good news is that we are in a position today to do more than we've ever done before, correct? I just said that, more than we've ever done before. And I know this is something to many of us things are a bit far away from our reach. However, we're in the best position we've ever been. Here's what's taking place. More and more of our people are coming to the realization that yes, having our own independent nation is the only solution for us. So the polls are coming back to us where people, of course, the number has not increased in terms of how many people support this concept, in terms of getting a true perspective, really grappling it internally is becoming more an actual reality for us, because we now begin to see that yes, not only do I believe in the idea of having our own nation, but more importantly, I believe it's truly attainable in our lifetime. And that's exactly the message of the Mahali Party. Why KCZIN exists is because KCZIN has been leading the charge to letting our people know. When I say people, I'm referring to the people who call themselves Mahali, Mahalians, those who want their own independent nation. They're the ones who are coming to greater realization that yes, the attainability of this having this nation for ourselves is in our hands. It's very close for us and it's attainable within our lifetime. So here's the good news. Now we're in a position that we've never attained before. This is a new era for our people, having the means of using politics as a way to attaining a country. And this is so critical. Politics is the means by which nations exist and are also established. In today's era, we are in a very unique situation, and because of that, it becomes a far greater reality. It becomes something that we can attain within a short period of time. In relative language, of course, I'm speaking within 8 years. That's very close, more than what we've ever had in terms of hope for any aspects of our people, of any belief system in this country. Because this country has taken away all the goals in terms of attaining greater than what they currently are. That has totally been vanquished in this country, even though they'll tell you otherwise. But yet, when you see what they give you and then what they take away from you, it still comes out to be a net zero gain for us. This is why Mahali is so important. It is critical that we begin to take the process of doing what's necessary to form this country. And one of the most important components is now getting our minds wrapped around the idea of moving to the 3 states that are designated to be the nation of Mahali. Now, I know you may be living outside of those 3 states, far and some farther than others, but you have to realize that to get the benefits of Mahali, you have to move to those 3 states. That is the only place where we will actually have the authority and power to execute an independent nation. And this is where you come in at this point. Start planning now. Don't have to move now, but start planning now. Why is that so important for us to start doing it now? It's because we have to lay the foundations and preparations to get ourselves so we are in a position to start forming this country. Now just think about this. In the past 10 years, in the past 20 years, even in those 20 years that we even had a black president in this country, how far did we actually achieve in terms of improvements for our people? And many will debate this. Unfortunately, no matter how you actually turn it around, it's again a net zero gain. And because of that, the idea of forming our own country becomes really important. Here's the problem, and this is a very big problem. The fact that we have not started moving into those 3 states and putting the efforts to make them our own nation, that is the big reason why you don't see the results. Perhaps the biggest of all the reasons why you don't see the results of us having the benefits of having our own nation. You see, there's nothing that has prevented us more from forming our own country as a people than continuing to subside and continue to go along with all the ideas and parameters that this country lays out for us. Not us for them, but them for us. So we now must have to take the position and say, look, we don't have to get involved in their political ideas, ideologies, what's important to them, what they think they should get people to vote for. No, that's not our concern. That's their concern. It's important to them. We don't say it isn't, but it is important to them. It's not important to us. And we must learn to distinguish the difference between what's important to them and what's important to us, and focus on what's important to us. Just like they focus on what's important to them, and they do not deviate what's important to them, we must take the same position and focusing on what's important to us and remain in the realm of what's important to us. Once we do that, the track to forming a nation becomes a very fast track for us to get in charge and have our nation in place. So here's what I want everyone to understand. You have to start changing the way you think in terms of nationhood. It is not an issue where you can live anywhere in scattered 50 states and live in cities that you want and say, well, we're building a nation. We all have the same mental idea in terms of a nation. No, that's not a nation. It's just an ideology. That ideology must be come into fruition by forming a nation in the states that the nation is going to be established. We have to start preparing now for the day that we have to move to those 3 states and start getting our nation established. What am I saying by getting our nation established? Once you move to those 3 states, you bring something with you that is critical to nation formation. And the most critical of all, you have now added 1 additional vote to forming our own country. That's right. Every single person that moves there has now added an additional vote for us to get our nation established. As we continue to move in numbers and moving to the 3 states, we are adding to the vote that says, yes, we want our state to be part of the new nation of Mahali. Great news for everyone. We're closer than we've ever been in history. That's why it's important that we continue our preparation, remain focused, that without this effort, there won't be a nation. But here's the other part of looking at it. It is because of this effort that we're getting our nation. A very small price to pay in forming our nation. When we stay outside of those 3 states, our problems persist. The biggest price that we're paying is not moving and living in those 3 states. We continue to suffer outside of the 3 states without no power, no control, no single voice, all scattered, depending on other people and what's important to them, as opposed to focusing on what's important to us. Nationhood, forming our own country. That's what's important, and that's why you have to join us. Be part of this movement of developing the nation of Mahali. Go to kczin.com and continue to support the media outlet that keeps this message alive. Be a strong supporter of kczin.com and become a financial supporter, because it is the only media outlet that presents this message to you, that has been carrying us for the past couple of years in understanding how we get this nation, why it's important to have this nation, and now we've gotten to a point where even closer, where we're now preparing to move into our nation. This is critical. This is a time for us to celebrate, realizing that we actually have a media, that's right, our own media, that's focused on us having our own country. Remain focused, continue to watch KCZIN, because that's how the message of independence grows. Let's keep it going, and let's start forming our nation immediately.